Breakfast yet, and I'm filming this video over about a week after the initial cooking video itself, so I apologize if I'm going a little quickly. I'm starving, I'm dehydrated, and yeah. So welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing something for the first time ever on this channel. I'm going to be showing you guys one of my favorite recipes, chicken gizzards. Now, I'm not sure if you guys know what chicken gizzards are, but I don't know really either. So I took a little blurb off of the internet. So, chicken gizzards are cut from the digestive tract of chicken. Similar to a stomach, the gizzard is used to grind up the foods the bird eats. So, it's an organ, it's a muscle, and chickens and a few other animals, it's pretty common apparently as street food in Haiti, Southeast Asia, soup in Mexico. So yeah, this is something that definitely you guys should integrate into your, I wouldn't say weeknight routine, but just to shake things up a bit. Chicken gizzards, delicious, number one, that's the most important thing. Two, they're super cheap. I got mine for about $1.49 a pound, which is not bad at all. It's enough to feed about maybe 3 to 4 people. 2 if you're super hungry. What else is there? Oh, their texture. This is something that when I first had them, when I first made them myself, that it kind of threw me for a loop. They're so chewy and they're tough, but in a very satisfying way. They're not dry, they're not rubbery, they just have like a nice bounce to them, and it's super enjoyable to eat, especially if you fry them like how I'm going to do in this recipe. So this General Tso recipe, I actually took it from one of my favorite YouTube channels, Binging with Babish. Yeah, so I'm going to watch the video on my end, I'll play it over the actual footage, and yeah, let's get started. Okay, so first I pull out my old Reliable, my favorite cutting board I got from Home Goods and like Cleaver that's been holding it down for a few years, Walmart. So the first part of the recipe is the marinade. This is the part where we tenderize the chicken, give it some flavor. Now the original recipe called for two egg whites, but obviously you see here I'm not the best cracker ever, and I ended up just accidentally spilling the yolks in there, so I decided to just go ahead and use the entire whole eggs for both of them. I also didn't know what to do with the leftover egg yolks anyway, so it worked out for the best. And then we're going to throw in some soy sauce. The recipe calls for regular soy sauce, but I only had soup soy sauce, which is much saltier than regular soy sauce. So I used a little bit of that. And then I threw in some Chinese Shaoxing rice wine. And then this is some, I want to say it's white wine, but it's pink, so let's say white wine is white wine. And I threw a splash of that in there. I'm not sure if that was actually part of the recipe, I think I just kind of improvised that. Turned out pretty well. And now we throw in some, about a spoon of cornstarch, 2 spoons of cornstarch. When you're mixing the egg batter and the cornstarch together, it's pretty difficult at first. You can see here that the cornstarch wants to cling to the bowl, and you know, you just have to kind of put some elbow grease in there and just make sure everything is blended together. And even then, it doesn't really blend together that well, but you gotta do the best you gotta do. You gotta do the best you can. And so this is the chicken gizzards. It's actually the gizzards and the heart itself, a little weird. Got it from Stop and Shop, and you see here, I'm having a little fun with the heart. I'm showing you guys, you see like a nice thing of fat around there. It's watching the footage over, it's a little gross, but it's, as I said, it's delicious and it's cheap. So what I'm doing here is the gizzards themselves are pretty big, so I decided to split them in 2, so they're about the same size as the heart as well. And you know, I'm just splitting the rest of them up and I'm throwing them into the marinade. And I'm gonna mix that up with the marinade, and that's gonna sit for about 30 minutes. And I think this is the point right here where I realized that, holy crap, this is way more than I thought it would be. I really thought it would just be like barely enough for 2 people, but it lasted me for like 4 days, so yeah, you have enough for the week. Yeah, just give that a quick toss. And just cooking tip, I want to pause this for a second. Just cooking tip. You want to marinate stuff. You want to do everything that needs to sit for a while at the beginning of the cooking process. So in the meantime, when everything is sitting down, whether it's bread proofing, whether it's meat marinating, you can just put that aside and focus on everything else, like your side dishes, like your sauces, like your breading for things. So right here, I started to get my rice ready, and I keep my rice in like my old party mix container. You guys should do it too. So I'm gonna be making the rice the stovetop method. It's just regular jasmine rice. So yeah, 1.5 cups of rice, about 3 cups of water. Give that a quick mix. Throw it on the stove. Steam it for a bit for about 15-20 minutes. And now I start making my sauce, which is a few tablespoons of soy sauce, the rest of my wine that I had left, a little bit of vinegar. So sorry about that, guys. My phone decided that it'd be appropriate to run out of storage at that point in the video, so that's happening. I decided to take the moment to put a sweater on. It was getting a little brisk in here, cover up some skin. So as I was saying, I added some vinegar, some Tarjay brand vinegar, and throwing in some sugar in there for some sweetness. And I don't have a fancy sugar dispensary thingy, so I just had to go old school ratchet on that. And I think this was the point where I realized that the amount of sauce I made was nowhere near enough for the amount of meat that I had. So I threw in a whole extra little dollop of sugar, a bit more soy sauce, and a bit more of everything actually. Just give that a little good twirl. Throw in some sesame oil. And apologies guys, I didn't realize that I chose the one cracked bowl in my kitchen. And so now we're gonna add some Goya reduced sodium chicken bouillon, and then give that a good mix up, trying to dissolve all the clumps of chicken powder. And I actually added some water to it because the recipe called for chicken broth or chicken stock, so I added some water to make up for the loss of liquid. And now we're gonna take some of my not the prettiest, not the most photogenic green onions ever. Gonna give those a quick chop. And then, boop. Hey, magic of editing. Guys, this video took me so long to edit. It was over like maybe an hour and a half of footage, and I think I managed to condense it in the span of within maybe 15 minutes. So props to me on that. That was hard. And my famous, well, not mine, but method of removing garlic. Chop off that flat end, give that a smash, then it just jumps right out of its skin. And then we're gonna, so all of this stuff is gonna be added to our sauce. And then we have a nice knob of ginger, good ass spice. And then, I didn't feel like peeling it, I believe, so I decided to just wash it and then cut it into strips, slices, julienne it, and then give that a quick dice. And then we're gonna throw that back into our, sauce. And that stray little garlic paper stuck to my knife. So these are our dried red chilies. They're gonna give the sauce some heat. I'm gonna add that on later on when I actually get the sauce on the stove. So I'm throwing in some cornstarch, and this is gonna make the sauce thicken up a bit once it actually starts being cooked. Just give that a stir, and then it takes on this really like muddy brown color, which I didn't care for too much. So moving on to the breading part. To a big bowl, we added a cup of flour, some cornstarch, a little dash of some salt. I added some kosher salt, and then this is the interesting part. This is the interesting part. We take some of our marinade and then we mix it in with the actual breading because it helps clump it together, which I want to say helps the chicken come out crispier after you fry it. This is according to the recipe. I believe it as well too. Like it does really work. Okay, into the breading we're just gonna go ahead and add our gizzards and hearts, and then give them a quick tossy toss. Careful because it's incredibly messy. The way that breading will stick to your hand is the same way it's sticking to the chicken. It's pretty gross, but yeah, you give that a little nice hand toss, and then I added some more cornstarch because I wanted to coat the chicken a bit more. And then, so give that a toss, and once the chicken is well coated, we can clean our hands off for a bit, and then we check on our rice, which is about done at this point. You can see at the bottom, there's no more moisture left, and I'm just giving it a quick fluff. Then I'm gonna cover that up for a bit, turn off the heat, move it to the side. And at this point, we're gonna get our oil hot. So, uh-oh. My editing. Uh-oh. Yikes. I'm sorry about that. Woo. Okay, so to our big pot, we're gonna add some oil in there. Some of that oil was like leftover oil I had from like the other day. Don't judge me, that's how you save money. That oil is perfectly good to use. I just added some new fresh oil to it so it's enough to submerge the chicken. So we add all of our pieces there. They're so beautiful. This is just not my day, I tell you. My camera decided to stop recording again. So, picking up where we left off. Sorry about that, folks. I believe I was here. Right, okay. So, we're adding our chicken pieces into the hot oil. Nice and bubbly. We're doing this in batches because it's a lot of chicken. I did this in about 3 batches. And once our gizzards and hearts are nice and golden brown like that, they look so they really do look beautiful. Yeah, we add our second batch, remove the first one, and then just keep in mind every time we I can help that. I had to try it. Every time we remove a batch from the oil, we want to give them a little sprinkle of some salt, just to give it some extra flavor. The flavoring helps cling much better right after there's still oil on the surface. It dissolves much better on the chicken and infuses flavor a lot more. So, and then after each batch removal, we clear out the oil a bit of the leftover breading that's still stuck there. And I am so sorry about that. I don't know. I don't know why the color decided to change at that point in the video, but it did. Hopefully it doesn't upload like that when I put it on YouTube, but I'm sorry. It won't happen again. So yeah. And so this is the point where we make our sauce. Just stir fry some peppers that I had forgotten to chop up earlier, and then put some scallions, stir fry that for a bit until it's softened, and then we're gonna add our sauce that we just give one last mixing to, because the cornstarch does settle at the bottom. And you can see here there wasn't enough liquid in the sauce because immediately it starts thickening up too much and it starts clumping together. So we loosen it up a bit with some more water, and just to make sure that it's loose enough to completely coat all the chicken pieces and to have some leftover sauce. So yeah, and then we keep adding more liquid just to make sure, you know, we're not having some dry sauce. You see, it looks beautiful, it looks great. Like, apart from like the weird color contrasting what's happening right there, it looks good. And then we add some more sauce, and then we add about a spoon of sesame oil, and now I'm adding some Korean hot pepper flakes just to give a bit more of a kick. and some more color. And give that one last toss. And then we're gonna plate it up. It looks gorgeous. Looks gorgeous. For me, it looks gorgeous. I don't know. For you guys, it might look like shit. And it kind of does look like shit. I'm not gonna lie, but it tastes good. So then we're gonna garnish it with a few of our chopped up green onions, and then there you go. General Tso's chicken gizzards and hearts. So the recipe itself, the General Tso's, isn't my recipe. It's not original, but the chicken gizzards and the heart, that idea is mine. That I claim, and no one can take that away from me. Yeah. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. What I'm gonna do is, I had originally shot myself, recorded myself tasting the final dish. I had my nice side of rice. I had my chicken plated up. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys that footage. I hope you guys enjoyed the video over. I'm really hoping that the editing and everything comes out well for this, because it went wrong in so many places. But thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Have a good day, guys. I'm gonna try to do one of those. Oh shit! No! Oops. Give it a try. It's pretty good. It's delicious. I don't know if you guys can hear it. It's like that. It's so like chewy and so like bouncy. Oh, I'm getting a nice hit of the spice from the powder. Delicious. Also, my go-to, I gotta eat this. Rice seasoning. I love eating it with like any rice dish, especially white rice. A bit. I hope you guys can see that. Just delicious. Yeah, delicious. So, if you guys like the recipe, if you thought it was a little interesting, let me know. Give the video a like. And try it on your own. You don't have to use chicken gizzards. It'll be just as good, if not better, with chicken thighs. Don't do a chicken breast, please. For the love of God, don't use chicken breast. But yeah, totally recommend it. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you liked it, give me a like. If you want to subscribe to see more content, please go ahead and do that. I'll link the original recipe, and I'll see you guys next time. So have a good night. Peace out.